Welcome back. I apologize for my absence. Got a hopefully a pretty informative video for you here today. Here I have with me two helmets, the new Ruroc Atlas 3.0, which I waited a very long time for. And in my impatience, I purchased a Scorpion R1 Carbon, I believe is all it's called. R1 Carbon, R1 Evo Carbon. R1 Carbon, it's the new one, in gloss carbon. They do a matte and I believe another version as well. But nonetheless, I have these two helmets here today because I'm going to draw some comparisons between them and give you guys my honest opinion of both, particularly the Ruroc here. Seems as though there's very few videos out there that are not bought and paid for by Ruroc. So, which is fine, you know, that's marketing, that's advertising, but I bought everything you see here today with my own money. I have another helmet with me here as well, but we're going to talk about that one later. So my initial impression, let me move this so I don't spill it. My initial impressions of this helmet, gorgeous. I mean, I do truly believe that this is the best looking helmet on the market right now. I think it's one of the best looking helmets that's definitely come out in a while for sure. So design, obviously, we're scoring high there. It looks really good. The carbon looks really nice. I mean, this thing, it really is a piece of art. I could just talk about how beautiful it is all day. Couple of things though. One thing I was very kind of concerned about was the visor. So I've seen with previous models, I did not purchase a 1 or 2.0. And I was glad I didn't because the reviews didn't seem to be super great on those. A lot of complaints did revolve around the visor being kind of chintzy, and that's something that I really do not like in a helmet. I spend a fair chunk of change on helmets because having a good helmet is worth 10 crappy ones. This visor does, is that locked in? There we go. Yeah, this visor snaps in very well when you lock it in the fully locked position. I mean, yeah, you can just close it there where it's not fully closed. They did incorporate a cracked visor position there, which is very nice. The other ones would not sit there. They were basically just open or closed. You do have a halfway and as well as two up here actually, fully open, and then that's where you would put it to actually remove it. But helmet, the visor does not get, you know, blown open or anything like that. You know, if you crack it halfway or anything like that, you're, you know, moving down the road. It is very solid. Yeah, you got to kind of slam it. The new system for removing and changing the visors is a lot better. You just pull these little dealies, quarter turn, pull them out, and swap the visor. Nice and easy, whereas the other ones you had those little side plates, which I don't like, and that is something that adds a lot of wind noise. Something I know they did as well is they actually blocked these vents off. These vents are no longer functional, which, not a fan of fake vents, but, you know, I understand they would have had to pretty dramatically change up the design, and it does look good. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get that. Kind of a funky thing, if you want to plug these vents off, you actually have to buy separate rubber plugs to insert inside the helmet to close the vents. They don't just open and close like that. Which, I mean, fine. I live in Florida. It's hot as crap all the time, so my vents are always open. Really good looking helmet. I mean, so we'll get into a couple things here that I'm not super keen on, not super happy with. A little bit funky in the fitment. We're going to talk about this Fidlock here in a minute as well. I'm a big fan of that. Putting this thing on, so I wear a medium. I wear a medium in my Shoei. This Scorpion here is a medium. We're going to talk about the fitment on that as well, because all these helmets that I have here fit very differently. I couldn't put it on my head when I first got it, and I was like, well, great, you know, months of waiting and anticipation, and I can't even use this helmet. Well, once I kind of folded it onto my head the correct way, it went on just fine. But then I was kind of shocked to see that it wasn't super snug on my head actually after I actually had it on, excuse me. I'll just show you guys. You'll see, you know, I kind of struggle at first getting it down over my head, and just watch. Now, it is actually a lot better once you know how to do it the right way. That went on fairly easily. You just have to make sure your ears are in the correct spot over here, and you're kind of going onto the crown, like on your forehead there, and kind of folding it down over, as opposed to just trying to jam it straight down on your head, because it will not go on. If you try to put this thing on from the back of your head or from straight up top, it doesn't go on. So that was kind of funky. But you see, now that I have it on, it does wiggle a little bit. Now, this helmet, I think, is a lot more comfortable. I almost hesitate to say that. It's more comfortable than the Scorpion. But kind of in a different way, right? I like the Scorpion because it fits very snugly on my head. Pretty tight around the bridge of my head, the crown of my head here, whatever you want to call it. But you know, not like this one is. It's pretty, I want to say spacious. It fits correctly, but I just like it to be a little tighter in the cheek pads, I think, where this thing doesn't bobble around, which it doesn't become a problem. But looking down at the Fidlock deal here, pretty cool. I mean, you just mate the pieces together, just kind of get them. Well, I say it's so easy. Yeah, there it goes. You just get them near each other, and it clips right on. Very cool, very easy, very secure. They picked up a motorcycle with the helmet and the ad, so clearly it holds enough weight, and the only way is to just pull the red tab. So any other force that's not pulling straight down on this red tab will not open this. You can't pull it side to side. You can't shimmy it open. You can't pry it open because of the way this thing is shaped. So I'm going to take this off now. You see what I mean there? Taking off is a little difficult, but not a big deal. So I'll show you guys kind of how this Fidlock thing works here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's kind of a little hook shape there, and a little receiver, I guess you could call it there, that like folds this D-ring down into there. Well, once you do that, the D-ring is now hooked behind the block that's on this bottom piece, and this is actually like a little lever that pries it out of there. Very cool system. Makes it easy, especially after you have your gloves on and you realize you didn't strap your helmet. So kind of nice. Talking about the Scorpion now, I bought this because I was impatient, and it's pretty, and it's carbon fiber, and I like that. So I never had a Scorpion before. Well, excuse me, I do have a very cheap Scorpion helmet, the Bandit I think it's called. It's the one with the little removable face piece that I use at work, just in case I've got to take a bike off the property and I don't have my helmet that I ride with, right? Say I drive my truck or something. So I do keep one of those at work. It's super cheap. It was like a $150 or like $200 helmet. Very chintzy, kind of like a bicycle helmet. Not this one, the cheap one. But it's, you know, there because I have to have it, right? So initial impression of the Scorpion, beautiful, great looking helmet. Love the shape. You'll see a theme here I very much like swept back kind of look on the back of the helmet. I don't like real, you know, rounded off, like that kind of aerodynamic teardrop look. which you'll see the theme here too. I have my freshly retired Shoei X-14. I rode this helmet for about 3 years, and it served me very well. It's a fantastic helmet. I have nothing but good things to say about it, and this is the standard that I compare everything else to. I have yet to find a helmet that is better than this. I was very, very close to just buying another X-14, and I can tell you I would have been totally happy with that. I love this lid. Also has the transition shield, so when you go out in the sunlight, this thing blacks out into a tinted visor. Then when you're riding home at night, it's clear. So very nice. You see I've got all my Moto vlog junk all over this one, and it's very dirty, but that's a 3 years of usage in this helmet. The liner in this, nothing else really compares to it. It's very, very, very comfortable, a little worn out. This helmet fits on my head better than any other helmet. Everybody's got a different shape to their head, but this is the standard for me. If you are between any helmet, if you don't know what helmet to purchase, I would always recommend an X-14. And it looks good on all type of bikes. I was gonna say, maybe not a, if you're riding a bagger or something like that, but hey, you could rock a black X-14 on a street glide or something like that. It'd look totally not out of place, At least I don't think anyway. Both of these helmets are super light, which does become negligible to a point because I add stuff onto my helmets, whether it's cameras, microphone adapters, cardo for sure, have to have the music going. That brings me to another thing with the Ruroc, the shockwave. This dealie here, the little magnetic pop in and out guy that they have, well, it's in there really good, that they have their proprietary audio system there. I like the form aspect of it. It's very cool that it just clicks in like that and plugs in, and it's concealed in the helmet, but the speakers are garbage. The speakers are absolute trash. I can't say it any nicer than that. The JBL speakers in the Cardo take the cake every time. They sound really good. With the Cardo, with those JBL speakers, you can hear bass in your music going down the highway. So even over wind noise and stuff like that, the bass still travels. This, very little bass. The highs are too high. I've had to kind of mess with the equalizer settings on my phone to take some of those piercing high notes out of the music because I need it louder, but it gives you a headache. So not a big fan of the shockwave. I may end up putting a Cardo unit on this just because those speakers are just so much better than anything else you can really get. I don't think I could really give you a definitive between the two of these. Let me put the Scorpion on real quick. The last time I rode with it, I felt like it was a little too tight. So we're gonna put it on for a minute. Now, I always forget it's in the center on this one. Now, my speaker's poking into my ear because it's coming out, but this helmet does feel very comfortable. It is pretty easy to get on and off. And something they do too are these pump up cheek pads. So you can pump up these pads where this thing gets really snug. Then there's a little pressure release in here. Where'd it go? Lost it. There it is. Down in the bottom there. And it'll purge that air out of there and make it easier to remove. I feel like that would have been a good solution. Scorpion's the only one I've seen do this, but I feel like that would have been a great solution to the fitment problems that I have with this helmet. If you had some kind of little pump up cheek pad deal, to just snug them boys up when you actually get the lid on, and you're not having to pull those tighter pads down over your head and hurt your ears and stuff like that. Yeah, this helmet is significantly tighter than the Ruroc is. May give you a headache after a little while, not gonna lie. Maybe it would benefit me to go up a size in Scorpion. As you can tell, it's a lot harder for me to talk right now the way I'm biting my cheeks, which is common with a lot of helmets. But with the Ruroc, I see why the Moto vloggers like it so much. You can speak very clearly without any obstruction from the helmet with the Ruroc. I'm going to take this off now, and I'm going to switch back over to... Visor's not as good on this one either. You saw that when I put that down. That kind of... It's really tight up here, and it's really tight when it's closed, but these other positions are not much better or worse than any other helmet, but I don't think it's as good as the Ruroc. I think they did a better job on that, and not quite as good as the Shoei either. Like I said, this is the most comfortable helmet. I haven't put this thing on in a while. It's been retired for a little bit now. But yeah, so much of a different fit. I mean, yeah, wow, I've never put all these on side by side like that. It combines the best part about the fitment of both of these. It's snug in the cheek pads, but not too tight. It's tight around the top of my head, but not too tight. It doesn't wiggle or shake when I have it on my head, and it's not super hard to get on and off. This helmet beats both of these. I mean, for comfort, if you're going to be out riding for a really long time, helmet comfort does become something that's very important. And I would be on the X-14. If I had to take a really long ride, I think I'm going to have to get another X-14, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like both of these helmets a lot, and I really like the way this one looks, but not going to say I'm not going to use it, but you might see me back in a black X-14, and this one might just be for bike nights or something like that, because yeah, it's just not as good as I was expecting. Now, I could use this helmet every day and be totally fine, the Ruroc, and be all right. But it's like once you've had the X-14, and I used this helmet for so long, really nothing else compares to it. I mean, I hate to diverge the video away from these two things, but I still think the X-14 is the winner. This is not a bad helmet. You can get one for cheaper than the Shoei. That's another thing I need to mention here as well. That Shoei X-14 is an $800 helmet. These, they advertise them for like $450 or $525, just like depending on the style. The ones with the exposed carbon are the ones that are $525. But by the time you do the shockwave and a visor, a pin lock, or whatever, the other little things you can add on there. They have their own camera mount too, which is pretty cool. Fits the front of the helmet good. They saw Moto vloggers JB welding these vents and doing all kinds of weird stuff to get cameras on the helmet, so they gave us a solution for that, which I think is pretty nice. But yeah, to your door you're looking about $750. The Scorpion, picked it up at the shop. It was actually a misorder, wrong size for somebody who had ordered one. We actually didn't stock the helmet. I saw it was my size, so I went ahead and bought it because I like it. But yeah, $550 for this one here. $550, but you're talking $750 shipped to your house with the audio and everything, which I guess we shouldn't include the audio because the Cardo is separate, right? On the Scorpion there. So for all intents and purposes, these are about the same price, and the Shoei is a good chunk more. So see it as you will. These are great $500-ish helmets, and this is just a phenomenal helmet all around. I wish I could say that about this. I had very high expectations for it. And don't get me wrong, I love the helmet. This is not a video to bash this helmet, because I do like it. I do like the company. I like what they're doing. But maybe wait for the 4.0. I hate to say that because it is. The 3.0 is a good helmet, but I don't really have a super tight consensus for you here, guys. All three of these would be good options that you could be happy with. Not to put any of these down because they are good lids, but yeah, option C, the Shoei. The Shoei's the winner. They got a bunch of different styles and colors of this too. But one thing I do have to factor in here, these poly shells do allow almost a little bit of flex, whereas these carbon fiber shells do not. So if it's hard to get on, it's always going to be hard to get on because you cannot stretch it apart to actually get it down over your head. These are super stiff, very, very, very rigid shells, which is good for like an ECE rating, which I believe Snell is actually a different certification. They want it to be a little softer to absorb better, whereas they look at it for ECE certification as being more rigid, as being more safer. So there's some info out there that will argue either side, which is better. But as long as it's not just a DOT approved helmet, then you're doing a lot better than just having that. So yeah, that's my brief review of all of these helmets here. Let me know what you guys think. Which do you like better? Which do you like the look of the best? The Shoei as well. Kind of a weird comparison because this one's old and used and white, and these other ones are darker colored helmets. But yeah, what do you like better? If you guys had any of these helmets, let me know. Give me some feedback. If you got any questions, drop them down there in the comments also. Like I said, hopefully got a lot of more content coming for you guys here soon. Do have a new motorcycle. I have done some, I guess you can say, downsizing, not monetarily, but as far as the number of bikes. Got rid of the Husky, I got rid of the Victory, and I bought the 2021 ZH2 SE from Kawasaki, which is something that I have nothing but good things to say about. And that video is coming soon. It's been impeded here for a number of reasons, but yeah, the video's coming soon. You guys are going to see this bike, and I'm going to tell you everything about it, everything I think about it, everything that I have and will be doing to it. And yeah, it should be pretty exciting. It's a very exciting bike. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think about these helmets down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. A lot of good content coming for you soon. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm will forgive me for my absence and drive some of you guys here to check out this cool stuff. So thank you guys so much. Welcome back, I guess, to Motorcycle Insider, and we'll see you next time.